Hello, and a warm welcome to this webinar brought to you by Royal London. I'm Shelley Reid, Senior Intermediary Development and Technical Manager, and it's my pleasure to present to you a new presentation entitled Tools to Help Your Advice Hit the Target. So, we'll be taking a closer look at some of the tools we have at Royal London to help you have compelling conversations with your clients about the need for protection. Some of the tools we'll look at you may recognise, but there's a good chance many will be new to you.
It wouldn't be a protection training event without some learning objectives, and here are ours for today's session. So by the end of this presentation, you should have a better understanding of the tools available to support your sales process. Be confident in accessing and using online tools to engage further with both new and existing clients. To understand how various tools can help market your business and communicate with your clients. To understand the support available through Helping Hand and to be able to confidently explain this to your clients. And finally, be familiar with the recent enhancements made to the Helping Hand support service from Royal London. And to help us achieve these learning objectives, we're going to follow the agenda that you can see on the screen just now. The first 4 sections have been broken down to mirror the different stages within your advice process. We'll start by looking at tools to help us approach clients with the topic of protection, followed by tools that you may want to look at before a meeting to really help you get the most out of the client conversation. Followed then by tools you could use during your meeting that just might help clients realise the importance of protection. And finally, tools you could use after the meeting to help you engage further with the client or indeed help grow your business. We'll then have a brief reminder on Helping Hand for both personal and business protection. We'll look at the recent updates to our Helping Hand service and then how Helping Hand can particularly support your clients right now during the pandemic. Throughout the session today, we'll introduce you to various different case studies to help bring to life the tools and support. So starting off with tools to help approach a client. So let's meet our first case study. Lizzie and her partner Susan are about to purchase their first home. They've got an online meeting with you to discuss their mortgage next week. Lizzie is 27 and a hairdresser. Susan is 29 and a primary school teacher. Neither Lizzie or Susan have had financial protection in the past and are not convinced that they really need it. Lizzie has been a smoker for the last 9 years, while Susan has never been a smoker. If we head onto the Royal London Advisor website, you'll actually see that our tool sections are broken down into the categories we're discussing today. So for our first case study, I think what will work well is to create an approach letter, which you can not only bespoke with your own contact details, but we can also use to give Lizzie and Susan some points to think about ahead of our meeting. The other benefit with approach letters is they could be sent to clients where there's no meeting already arranged, but it just may actually prompt a meeting to be set up. So let's head onto the approach letters tab. So as you can see, there's a range of different approach letters, each tailored to various aspects of advice and product range. For Lizzie and Susan, I think a conversation is likely going to be about personal protection at this moment. So let's click on personal protection. And even within these sections, there are various letters, each with different objectives. In a brief discussion with Lizzie and Susan, I've picked up that they both believe that they don't need protection and that they've both got very secure jobs. So the 2 letters I think are most suitable, and the one I've highlighted in the orange box, could they afford to keep their home if one of them became critically ill? And also, could they maintain their lifestyle if again one of them couldn't work? Possibly all of those letters in the approach section could be quite powerful, But for now, let's proceed with these two. So clicking on each of these links opens a Word document, and it will look just like these two we have here on the screen now. With it being a Word document, you can amend anything, but primarily you're able to bespoke each letter with both your details and also the client details. If I ask you just to have a quick look at the text now, you can see our aim is to get the clients thinking. The text in bold is really the main area for consideration. Hopefully, it will prompt the client not only to give some consideration, but also to give you a talking point during the meeting. And you can print these off or email them directly to the client. So if we head back now into the advisor site and tools homepage, one final tool in this section I'd like to highlight to you is actually one of my favourites. It's the Royal London Marketing Studio. I'm sure many of you are already familiar with the Marketing Studio, but if not, I'd urge you to take a look after this webinar at studio.royallondon.com. So you can access the Marketing Studio through the Advisor website, or as I just mentioned, search for studio.royallondon.com. Either way, you'll be welcomed with the following screen. If you've never been on here before, you will be asked to register, which really does take just a few minutes. And it's here you'll be invited to upload your company logo. By doing this, your contact details and logo will appear on all the material you create. But for the purpose of today's session, I'm going to highlight one of the key features on the Marketing Studio, which is the creation of bespoke protection posters. So if we hit the top button, we'll be greeted with a selection of different posters available, and again, these link back to the various products we offer. You'll have the option to have your own logo and contact details, or you can choose to have the Royal London logo on there instead. For our posters, there's also a couple of different sizes, and you can order printed copies to be delivered straight to your door. Alternatively, you can download them straight to your computer. These are really great for office windows and reception areas, even doctor's surgeries or community halls. So if you're looking at attracting prospective clients' attention, these are really a great way to do it with quirky imagery and really catchy headlines. So thinking back to Lizzie and Susan, they were both sceptical about needing protection, which is possibly a challenge I think you ladies and gentlemen hear quite a lot. I don't think I need it. Well, possibly the most popular area within the Marketing Studio, or at least the one which could make the biggest impact within your protection conversations, and that's the risk reports. You'll notice there's an income protection report option on screen. That's a much more detailed report, bringing income protection to life with clients using details specific to them. Unfortunately, we don't have time today to go into detail about that. However, on the Reports tab, we want to now select Risk Summary, and if the client is single or part of a couple. We're then asked to input some basic information for client 1. And also then some basic information for the second client. And using these 5 bits information, we'll hit Create Report, and in a matter of seconds, we've created a bespoke risk report. I don't know if you'll be able to see the figures on the screen as it's a little small, but the 2 reports we've created show that Lizzie has a 9% chance of passing away before her retirement date, a 22% chance of claiming on a critical illness policy, and a huge 64% chance of claiming on an income protection policy. All of this overarched by a 75% chance of a claim being made in any of these areas, as you can see at the bottom in the circle. So Lizzie as a smoker has slightly more alarming results. Now the beauty of showing this to Lizzie and Susan is that you can then create a tailored protection solution that incorporates each element of the report. If you do this through the Royal London Menu solution, you can have up to 10 different types of cover. So you can have a real mix and match approach. You could have some critical illness cover with some income protection, maybe even some family income benefit in there too. The Royal London Menu solution lets you have different plan owners, different start dates, and one plan fee. It's completely flexible for your client. So we've looked at a few tools that could help play a role in either looking to gain some new clients or to encourage mortgage clients to consider having a protection conversation. Let's now look at tools to help before the meeting. So let's meet our next case study. Gail and her husband Gordon are about to purchase a new home. Gail is 38, an office manager at a bank, and Gordon, 39, is a self-employed accountant. They have two children, Greg, 8, and Graham, 10. So this time we're going to click on the Good Parent portfolio, which can be found in the section Before Your Client Meeting. This can help give your clients advice on things that go with the protection sale, such as trusts, wills, and also guardianship. In this Good Parent portfolio section, we want to help you talk to your clients about things such as making a will, putting protection plans in trust, and the importance of thinking about guardianship, issues that most people really don't like to think about. One of the sections that advisors tell us has proved really useful is under the Getting Started section, and in particular questions for you to ask your clients about these subjects. So, could you be sure that your children's funds would be managed effectively if you died prematurely? Maybe did you know that if you put your plan in trust, it could pay out to the people you leave behind more quickly? And maybe did you know that putting your plan in trust could also mean considerable inheritance tax savings and all sorts of support to help you with that sale? Selling your client's life cover helps to make sure they're financially protected, but does it go far enough? Using a more holistic approach to their protection needs means that you're not only giving them complete cover, but you're treating them fairly too. And we can help you do all this with the Good Parent portfolio. So the Good Parent portfolio will help you, for example, to talk to your clients about making a will. The importance of thinking about guardianship, and advice about putting a protection plan in trust. And while we're talking about trusts, another really useful section before the client meeting is Find the Right Trust. You can use this to help you identify the correct trust structure and the correct form for your client. These interactive pages will help you choose the correct trust form for an individual client. You just need to make the selections that apply to your client, and a box will appear at the bottom of the screen to let you know which form you should use. So on this one, the first question, is the plan a relevant life plan? So it's not. Is the plan a business menu plan? And again, the answer is no. Next question, is the plan owned by more than one person? And this time the answer is yes. And do they want the survivor to benefit should one of them die? And again, the answer is yes. And is the plan just life cover? Well, no, this plan includes some critical illness. And final question, do they want to be able to change the beneficiaries in the future? And yes, these clients would like to be able to do that. And you can see here that after just a few questions, we are giving a suggestion for the correct trust form for your client to use. And this time it's a split trust for jointly owned plans. So moving on, another section I'd like to highlight to you in the before your client meeting section is the pre-sales underwriting tool. You can use this tool to check things like BMI, family history, hazardous pursuits or occupations, and a really wide range of medical conditions. And you'll get an accurate indicative decision for each type of cover you choose. And I'll just show you how really easy it is to use. So we're going to select a male aged 40. They're a non-smoker. We're looking for life or critical illness cover, and we're not going to include TP. Our area of concern here is BMI, height and weight, but it is possible to pick more than one option here. So you might also have a query about occupation or family history. So we'll put in the details for this client. He's actually 6 foot 1 inches and his weight is 16 stone. And then once again, we'll press proceed. And you'll see here for life or critical illness cover, this inquiry has come back with accept at standard terms. You'll have the choice then to start a new pre-sale underwriting query or continue to a quote for this gentleman. So let's quickly look at another example. This time it's for a female, age 39, a non-smoker, and we're looking at income protection and waiver of premium with a 26-week deferred period. Let's press continue once again. This time we're concerned about family history, so we'll tick that box and then answer the questions about family history and what type of diagnosis had been received. So we'll choose the condition that we're concerned about, and this time it's breast or ovarian cancer, and proceed again. So to achieve a pre-sale underwriting decision, we'll need to enter some more details now. So we need to choose that, sadly, this was breast cancer. It was just one member of this client's immediate family. It was her mum at age 45, and more details about family history. And click proceed again. And you can see on the screen now that this has been accepted at non-standard terms for income protection and waiver of premium, and we're showing the exclusions there. And if we click again, we can either start a new pre-sale underwriting query or continue to a quote for this particular client. So let's now move on to tools to help during the client meeting. I'd like to introduce you to our next case study. This is Francesca and her husband Mike, and they're looking to remortgage. They have quite a large mortgage of £300,000. Francesca is 41 and a nurse, and Mike is 45 and a self-employed plumber. They both have very, very busy lives with their careers and lifestyle. This affordability calculator will give you all the details of their monthly expenditure, such as utility bills, insurances, travel, but it will also give you a useful insight into their lifestyle and what they actually spend their monthly income on. Very easily, you can collect all of the details of their property costs, for example, such as mortgage, council tax, and home insurance. Details of their utility bills such as gas, electricity, water and telephone. Details of any insurances such as pet insurance or maybe travel insurance. We can also gather information of household and personal expenditure such as groceries, Christmas, birthdays, childcare, maybe any children's clubs or activities. And travel costs to include such things as car insurance and maybe break. It's also important to include any debts that the client may have, such as car loans, personal loans, or credit card bills. And you can see here it will collate the total amount of bills every month, and you can also save that as a PDF. Another tool we can find in the During Your Meeting section is one of my favourites again, the Lifestyle Calculator. You can use this calculator to demonstrate to your clients that by cutting back on a few of life's little luxuries, often that we pay cash for, they can easily find the money for some protection. The lifestyle calculator will allow us to list the things that we spend almost without thinking about on a weekly basis. They cost very little, but you'll see they soon add up. If we use this as an example of maybe a typical week in my normal working life, I might have 5 takeaway drinks, coffees, or cups of tea when I'm travelling around the country with this job. I might also have a few snacks or soft drinks. I might buy a magazine to read on the train while I'm travelling, and when I finally get home on a Friday, I might get a takeaway meal. I might buy a couple of bottles of wine, and there might be a couple of other drinks in there over the week. If we press calculate, it soon adds up to over £200 a month spent on incidental expenses. So let's now look at making some changes. Let's cut those snacks and soft drinks down to just 4. Let's reduce that bottle of wine to just the 1. And let's also reduce any other drinks that I might have during that week. If we press calculate again, then you'll see that this is reduced now to £181.52, giving £22.54 saving. Might that easily be used for some sort of protection budget? And I think you'll agree, I've not really spoilt my life. And if this was a client looking at this, it would be very difficult to say that they couldn't afford your protection recommendation. It's really a choice of priority. Would they rather have a couple less takeaway coffees and 1 less bottle of wine and use that money to protect their family, their home, and their lifestyle? The next thing I wanted to show you is the National Insurance Calculator. Again, you'll find this under the Tools section of the Royal London Advisor site. As we all know, if a client is self-employed, they won't be able to rely on common employee benefits such as death in service or sick pay. This means that without an additional plan in place, they and their family could face financial difficulty if they were to die or were unable to work through illness or injury. Self-employed clients' national insurance contributions differ from employed clients, and the amount they pay is usually less. So have they thought about using the difference to fund the protection they need to give themselves the benefits many employed clients take for granted? It's very easy to use. All you need to do is put in the name of the client and then their annual net profit or income and press calculate. And you can see here that it will then give you the employed annual class 1 national insurance contribution versus the self-employed class 2 and 4 national insurance contribution. And then it will summarise the difference for a self-employed client. You can print this then to help you have that conversation with the client about using maybe some or all of that £1,000 in this example to maybe fund some very valuable income protection. Let's look now at some tools to help after the recommendation has been made. The first thing I want to mention is the Reasons Why section. This will help you explain the reasons for recommending a Royal London plan. We've produced various paragraphs that describe our company and the features and benefits of our products. You will be asked to select your paragraph type, and here in this example we've chosen reasons why for personal protection. And in this example we've chosen critical illness and also in the Why Royal London section additional support. Once we've chosen the paragraphs that we require, it's as easy as pressing copy, and then the details that we need will be available in a Word document to either copy and paste into an email or indeed a formal letter. And here's an example of the paragraphs we've chosen in an email format. I'd like to return now to the marketing studio we looked at a little earlier, but instead of looking at reports, this time I'd like to draw your attention to the sales aids that are available. It's very easy to design your own objection handling sales aids within our unique simple to use e-business tool, and many advisors have found these particularly useful if they're active in the social media space. Here's an example of a sales aid that a colleague of mine, Gregor Sked, has used on Twitter. And another sales aid used here on LinkedIn. And here's an example of two more sales aids, but this time used on the social media platform of Instagram. We've seen many advisors use these sales aids on social media to remind existing clients of their products and services, but also to look at attracting new clients. And some more examples of how to use these white labelled sales aids on maybe email or text or WhatsApp. In the final section of today's presentation, I'd like to look at Helping Hand, the support service from Royal London. We'll have a quick reminder of exactly what is available from Helping Hand, and then we'll look at some enhancements that we've added over the last few months. Helping Hand provides emotional and practical support, and it's available at no extra cost on all protection plans brought through a financial advisor with Royal London. It's available to use from the day the plan starts and not just when making a claim. It doesn't cost anything extra to use, and your client's partner and children have access to the support too. We work with a company called Redarc, who'll give your client access to the support of a dedicated nurse. And Helping Hand also offers your clients access to legal and career helplines. Your clients will have access to a dedicated nurse, and the practical and emotional support I've mentioned could include such things as counselling, complementary therapies, specialist speech and language therapy, physiotherapy, specialist cancer support, and maybe even a second medical opinion. Should your client sadly be diagnosed with a serious illness such as cancer, their dedicated nurse can help them understand the diagnosis or provide advice on how to manage the side effects of treatment a little better. Depending on the types of illness or injury, their nurse can recommend a number of additional services if they think it's really going to help them. For example, a second medical opinion perhaps, support from recovering from a heart attack, speech and language therapy after a stroke, or complementary therapies to help manage symptoms or indeed help with recovery. There are many reasons why your clients might need a second medical opinion. Once your client has agreed with their dedicated nurse that a second medical opinion could be beneficial, the nurse will organise a consultation with a consultant specialising in that field. Before the consultation, the nurse will give them some guidance, such as questions to ask and also what to expect. These consultations are held face to face, and as they are provided by a UK-based consultant specialist, recommendations and treatment are in line with the UK NICE guidelines and available in the UK. At Royal London, we're very proud of the support that Helping Hand offers to our clients, and 99% of people who used Helping Hand rated the service as good or excellent. And I think it's important to note that we're offering lots of support for people with a cancer diagnosis. 39% of referrals were for cancer and bereavement. There is much support on the Royal London website to help you talk to your clients about Helping Hand, including sales aids and client-facing literature. There are also several short video clips where some of our clients talk about the support they receive from Red Arc nurses via Helping Hand. This example is Helen's story, where she discusses how Helping Hand helped her and her family following her cancer diagnosis. On business protection policies, including relevant life plans, Helping Hand offers even more support. Helping Hand gives your business clients extra support to cope with practical and emotional consequences of perhaps a key person being off due to illness or injury. Again, they will have access to a dedicated nurse through our partners Red Arc, and they can also receive help with such things as recruitment and also access to legal advice. And remember, Helping Hand is available from the day their business menu or relevant life plan starts. I mentioned on the previous slide Helping Hand for business and recruitment. So what actually does that entail? Well, we work with a recruitment specialist, Identify HR and Resourcing Solutions Limited, who can help clients find a temporary or even permanent replacement. They will provide a list of temporary candidates within 48 hours. They can also help to write job specifications, draft adverts to recruit, and prepare recruitment agency briefs for more permanent cover. Getting cover in place quickly can help reassure the business customers and also suppliers. And there's even more additional support available with Helping Hand following the enhancements we've made over the last few months. Helping Hand now includes the additional support of My Lawyer to help with such areas as will writing, powers of attorney and probate. Clients will receive a 35% discount on will writing to make sure customers' loved ones inherit as intended. They will receive a 50% discount on powers of attorney to give authority to someone else in case a customer ever becomes incapacitated and needs their help. And finally, a 35% discount on probate in England and Wales to help customers deal with the estate of someone who has died. We've arranged 3 months free access to mental and physical wellbeing apps for our protection customers. This is offered as a temporary addition to our Helping Hand service because we feel it's the right thing to do now while people are coping with extraordinary circumstances. The first is Thrive, a mental wellbeing NHS approved and clinically effective wellbeing app. It provides relaxation exercises, sleep improvement tools and resilience building techniques. And also Track Active Me, a physical wellbeing app providing home-based exercise programs and physiotherapy advice to prevent and manage injuries and conditions. So that brings me to the end of our presentation today. Let me just revisit the learning outcomes we mentioned at the beginning. So you should now have a much better understanding of the tools available to support your sales process, to be confident in accessing and using online tools to engage further with new and existing clients, understand how various tools can help market your business and communicate with your clients, understand the support available through Helping Hand and be able to confidently explain this to your clients. And finally, be familiar with the recent enhancements made to the Helping Hand service from Royal London. For information on anything that I've talked about in today's presentation, then please contact your normal Royal London sales contact or alternatively visit advisor.royallondon.com/protection. And finally, a big thank you to you all for taking the time and trouble to listen to today's presentation. Thank you once again.